All right, so we're back here for the last part. We're going to look at a word problem, see if we can set this up and solve it. So problem number 3, an airplane flies from city A to city B, a distance of 150 miles, then turns through an angle of 50 degrees and flies to city C, a distance of 100 miles. How far is it from city A to city C? Through what angles should the pilot turn at city C to return to city A? Well, we got a lot going on here, so let's see if we can draw this. An airplane flies from city A to city B. So here's A. So let's say we fly to B. That's a distance of 150 miles. Now we're going this way. Then we turn through an angle of 50 degrees. So imagine this continued. From here, we're turning. Now the turn is going to be like this. So 50 degrees would be something like this. So we're flying in this direction, if you think of an arrow. Then we turn 50 degrees. So it's not going to be this angle. This is the turn of 50. And we fly to city C. So here's city C. That's a distance of 100 miles. How far is it from city A to city C? I'll put a question mark there. So this is what we're missing right here. That's our variable. Now we have a triangle here. We know two sides of that triangle, but we are missing all three angles. But if you look at this exterior angle is 50, and compared or along with this angle, that makes a linear pair. They add up to 180. So we can take 180 minus 50. So we actually do know this angle here, it's 130 degrees. Now we're trying to solve for x, which is the missing side, the third side. Look at the information here. This is a side angle side problem. So we can do the law of cosines. X is going to be the side. Okay, when we look at the formula here, x is going to be the side by itself. It's going to be this. So it's going to be x squared, which means that the angle will be that angle measure opposite the side. So x squared equals, here's the other two sides, 150 squared plus 100 squared minus 2 times those two side lengths, 150 and 100, times the cosine of the angle, which is 130. It's not 50. 50 is not an interior angle. It's 130 that we have to use. Now, because everything is on the same side, we can just go straight to the calculator and type this. Remember, all of these are being multiplied here. All right, so let's see. We'll do 150 squared plus 100 squared minus 2 times 150 times 100 times the cosine of 130. Now that's a lot, but again, I've just got to type some buttons, hit some buttons here. 51,783.6. So x squared is 51,783.6. Now this is miles. That does not make sense to be the length from A to C. The 150 and the 100, there's no way that this can be 50,000. Well, look at the equation. That is x squared. We're not solving for x squared, we're solving for x. So to undo a square, we take the square root of that. So we'll take the square root of this answer, and we get 227.6. I'll round that 5 up to a 6. 227.6 miles. So this is part A. How far is it from city A to city C? 227.6 miles. Okay, so we found that. That's good. Part B says, through what angle, should the pilot turn at city C to return to city A? Well, we started at A, we flew to B, we turned at B and flew to C. From here, we're going to turn again and fly back to A. Now, here's the angle of turn that we're trying to find. Let's call that y degrees. Okay, that's what we need. Now, here's the thing. I'm not going to find that yet, but what we could do is we could figure out this angle here. This is angle C. I'll use gamma for C. If we could find this angle, all we have to do then is subtract from 180 and we would get this one. Okay, so this is what we want to find. Now, we do know the 3 side lengths, so we could do the law of cosines to find this missing angle, but again, I'm going to use the law of sines. I think it's easier to make the proportion. So it would be the sine of gamma, that's the missing piece, divided by its opposite length, 150, is equal to the sine. Now we only know one other angle, it's the 130. So the sine of 130 degrees divided by its opposite length, 227.6. Now the nice thing is, 130 has to be the biggest angle. That means this is less than 90, so we don't have to worry about the ambiguous case. If we weren't sure, then I would do the law of cosines. All right, now we're going to cross multiply. So we're going to take 150 times the sine of 130 degrees. We're going to take 227.6 times sine of gamma, but then we're going to divide by 227.6. So I'm just going to do that at the beginning. And now it's a calculator problem. So 150 times the sine of 130 divided by 227.6. We're going to get a decimal. Okay, now that is the sine of gamma. If I want just the angle measure, I have to take the inverse sine, and we get 30.3 degrees. Gamma equals 30.3 degrees. Now we're not done. Okay, here's part B. We're not done because gamma is not the answer. We don't want this angle, we want the exterior angle. But they form a linear pair, they are supplementary. So we take 180 minus that, and what we get is 149.7 degrees. So that is the angle that we have to turn at to return to city A, and that is the end of the notes.